Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Prairie Vintage Jewelry and I am back with another video. It is a pick a deck or pick a card type reading, which will be a message from Spirit. This reading is timeless, so when you find my video, it is a message meant for you at that time. You may be drawn to more than one pile, which is fine. That just means you have multiple messages in these three piles. One pile might speak to you more, and that is your main pile with your messages. You might be drawn to the butterfly, or you might be drawn to the deck, but feel free to pause the video to pick your pile. And I just wanted to thank my 50 subscribers. I've hit my milestone of 50 subscribers. I am thrilled. Thank you so much. And for those of you guys who've reached out for personal reading, thank you. I am thrilled to the individuals I am meeting through my channel, and I really appreciate all the support. And also I wanted to let you guys know that I do the personal readings. There is no flat rate. It really is based on the type of reading, how many questions. So if you send me an email below, I just have some quick questions to ask and can figure out the best reading for the type of reading that you need based on your circumstance, and we'll give you a cost based on that. I also wanted to thank all of the individuals who have been visiting my website. I am prairievintagejewelry.com. Thank you so much to my customers there, longtime buyers. I do appreciate you guys for sure on my new journey doing this. So take a look at these three piles. Let me know which one you are interested in by clicking on the pile selection below, and then we will see you shortly. Thank you so much. Hi everyone who picked pile number one. You're probably drawn to this blue butterfly, or maybe you were drawn to this anime deck, but either which way you've picked pile number one, we will take a look at a message from Spirit, messages from Spirit, and anything that wants to come across to you today. This is a timeless reading, so what you hear today is meant for you today, and was meant to find you today. If you're drawn to any of the other two piles, you feel free to go over there to get more messages for sure. And I wanted to thank my subscribers and for all of you guys who are liking and commenting and reaching out to me. Thank you so much. Without further ado, we will look at your energies before we get into the tarot as usual. So we have the Death card. We have Creation. We have Quest. Now, pile number one was the only card, or I guess the only pile that had multiple chakra oracle cards come out. Truth be told, Unicorn, Panther, the Maiden, and Resurrection, Reprise, Recovery, Comeback. Okay, so I do find it interesting that I chose to use butterflies for, I guess, this pick-a-card reading, because the butterfly speaks of transformation. So I wanted to see how intertwined transformation is in all of these piles. So clearly for you guys, we have the Death and the Resurrection, which right off the hop is telling me, and Creation, right off the hop is telling me that there is a period in your life right now of change, massive change, where the old is being left behind and a new you, or a new rebirth of, I guess, who you intend to be, how you want to be, is now being birthed. So it's like a new opportunity for you to be someone different in your life, or leave something in the past that wasn't serving you. Okay, so I'm picking that up strongly, and almost like you're stepping into your power now. And there's a lot of unknown ahead of you, like a lot, but you feel very powerful in your power and very much in control of this new transformation of who you are and who you've built yourself up to be. With the truth be told, I'm picking up now that maybe where there are areas where you might have not have been completely upfront or honest or addressing concerns within your surrounding you, or maybe even to yourself, you're now taking a hard look at these areas of your life and actually addressing these areas by being honest with yourself and honest with those around you. So I'm also picking up from Spirit, if you haven't always been honest with the people around you, you now are. And for those of you guys who haven't always been honest with yourself about a situation or an area of your life that was difficult to deal with, you're now facing these truths and being able to confront them by stepping into your power, even though the journey ahead and the quest ahead is unknown. I'm also picking up that this is a very intense time in your life, unlike anything you've really experienced before, but you're highly artistic and creative right now. So any sort of projects that you put your mind to, you're being really inspired and being driven by a lot of inspiration around you, and you're able to express yourself. Now, artistic could mean many things, like singing, drawing, painting, dancing, building. For some of you guys, I even see, you might have like an online blog or an area where you're public, but I do see that you're able to showcase areas of your creative side. I also see that for a lot of you guys, even though you're stepping into your power and leaving behind old way or an old situation, that you're also highly reactionary and reactive, and almost like you have low patience for stuff that you might have had a lot of patience for. So you might be snapping back at in areas that you might have been quiet and speaking your truth and maybe just more vocal about it. And it's like this pent up energy that's been held back is now coming out. So in some circumstances, it might be even more over the top than need be to speak your piece and to go out of your way to make your voice be heard. But the truth remains that behind that, you're still the same person, and you're a gentle, loving person who really respects and loves and is gentle with a lot of the people in your life. You care about your close friends and family and always go out of your way to show them appreciation, and you have an innocence about you that people like to lean on. But I think that's part of what kind of put you in this position, was because you are gentle-hearted and very kind, that it's people who just kind of take advantage or lean on that a lot that's kind of been building up for you, and now it's your turn to shine and to drive yourself forward. So Spirit is telling me that this part of your life is really under your control, and you kind of know that it is, even though you are blind to what's coming ahead. But you feel like you've stepped into your power and you're able to, move forward with this new part of your life. It's almost like you're having a glow up. You're being recognized for maybe something creative you're working on. Maybe people are acknowledging now that you're acting a little different, or that you're doing things a little differently. I'm sensing from Spirit, though, this high irritation. So I think there's still some people around you that are irritating to you, or that you are no longer putting up with and setting up your boundary, and that you're opening the door to the people that you do trust and love and being your same gentle self. But now you have a line for certain individuals that have pushed your boundary, or have pushed, I guess, you in a way that took advantage of maybe your kind heart. So if this sounds like your energy, I'm going to get into the tarot, which is what Spirit wants you to know. If this is not resonating, you might want to jump to another pile. But we do have the Anime Tarot, and we're going to thank Spirit for allowing us to tap into the energies today. And I want to thank you, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy. Thank you so much. We're so grateful to be able to connect with your energy. Spirit, can we get some tarot for pile number 1 and some messages from Spirit? Anything that is pressing that you feel you want to communicate to pile number 1, what they need to know about either a circumstance or a situation or in general. Thank you, Spirit. So we've got the Chariot in reverse. We've got the 3 of Swords in reverse. And we've got the Fool. We've got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Art card, which is Temperance in reverse. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the Tower in reverse. We have the 6 of Swords. We have the 7 of Pentacles. And we also have the 3 of Cups. Okay, so I do want to pick up the energy, but I'm getting something very loud for some of you guys. Not all, but for some of you guys, you've been in a third-party situation. You know, when you see the 3 of Cups, usually readers right away, okay, it's a third party, but I am really sensing this third party here because I do see 2 queens. And I do see the 3 of Cups here, and I do see heartbreak, and someone moving away from a difficult situation. So for those of you guys who resonate, we can get into the details of that a little more. But for the general reading here, the 2 queens can represent the multiple sides of your personality, because we were talking about in the energies that you have that sweet, innocent side, the loving side, which is you. But now you're learning to step into your power and be a little bit more assertive and draw your boundaries where people might have been pushing their luck or taking advantage of your kind self. Okay, so for those of you guys who are in a third-party situation, I see that you've drawn a boundary. You've also invested a lot of time and energy into something that might have not have panned out in the way that you had expected or wanted it to, and it wasn't an even balance. So you have decided to leave or move away from this and start a new chapter in your life, and that you're on your path of healing. Because the heartbreak of the 3 of Swords, when it's in reverse, you know, I've seen some cards that say it's on the mend. When it's in reverse, it's not as bad as when it's in upright, that it's a healing heart from a heartbreak. But I've read in other cards that it can also mean a very, very, very deep, deep, deep heartbreak, more than just the regular 3 of Swords. But what I'm picking up from here is that it's a heart that's on the mend, that has very deep sorrow, but is actually now on the mend and healing. So this third-party situation, okay, could certainly be over and done with for a bit now, and healing had to take place, and recognizing that there was an imbalance. Okay, now for some of you guys, a third party doesn't necessarily mean a third, you know, person in a love triangle, but could certainly mean a situation in which your person was picking a lifestyle or choosing something else rather than committing to you in the same manner that you were either expecting or wanting or investing your own time. But again, because I do see the two queens, that for some of you guys, it is another female energy that I'm picking up here. Okay, now back to the general reading for those of you guys not in a third party. When you see the Chariot in reverse, it can speak of imbalance, but it can also speak of car troubles. So maybe some of you guys are experiencing car troubles, or that's something that might be on your mind or coming up that Spirit wants to tell you. So for those of you guys who have an unreliable car, you might want to just have a source of support where you don't get stranded somewhere for your vehicle, or if you're planning a long drive or trip, it may come with some unexpected, unforeseen delays that you are not expecting. Okay, now I do see for a lot of you guys that the broken heart is healing, and that the Fool card speaks of stepping into the new unknown kind of naively, which is great because it's an area that's unexplored and you're open-minded to creating and seeing what can be done. And this was also seen in the first energy part of your reading when we saw creation here. So we do, you know, pick up that that is Fool-like energy because you have the 0, which is the start. So something had to die off in order to start anew. You know, maybe you put a boundary and now you're looking to start anew somewhere else. 0 also can be infinity. So it could very well be you doing something that you've always been doing, but taking a new spin or taking a new angle or a new approach to something that you've done in the past and breathing new life into it. And it's something you continue to kind of foster or grow within your life, because I am picking with the 7 of discs. It is putting in effort as well, slowly but surely, into something that you are wanting to, you know, see the fruits of your labor. Okay, now I do like this art card in this anime deck. It is the Temperance. I don't know if you can see, but you know, it's kind of giving me this confident vibe, whereas it's still an equal balance being had, but she's still and looking forward. So it's almost like where you're going, you're confident that it'll be a mixture of, you know, a mixture of the right stuff. You're not going to have to worry about imbalance or a block like you have in the past, because the 6 of Swords does speak about moving away from troubled, stormy situations in which you're going to clear situations where there is less strife. The Tower upside down. Now, we all know Tower moment obviously is a period where you have an incident where something in your life has happened that's shocking and maybe unexpected, and kind of really everything comes crashing down around it. But it's also a moment of clarity, and after the Tower moment you usually have a rebirth or a Fool or recreation going, you know, in a new direction, because with the tumbling of the Tower you kind of have to rebuild yourself. So the fact that it's upside down, I'm either picking up for some of you guys that maybe it wasn't as intense as you may have mentally had pictured this Tower moment to be, or the situation that you were in, and your mind might have got the better of you, that you thought it was something more than what it was, or worse than what it was, and the anticipation was worse, or the stories you told yourself was worse than what it is. So Spirit's telling me that although there is a Tower moment, that maybe the anticipation or the stories you told yourself are probably worse than what the actual circumstance is. Now, I am picking up, though, that this Queen of Cups, you know, the Queen of Cups is empathetic and in tune with emotions and generous. And this is picking up that side that I said that, you know, is your maiden side, that's generous and giving. But I do see on her face she does not look happy, you know, and it could very well be that state of giving and being, constantly you understood people to maybe take advantage of, and you know, you weren't happy of having to constantly be the one to have to give and the one to have to, you know, be the emotionally heavied one, carrying all the emotions and, you know, taking care of other people's and people's feelings and circumstances. And you could tell that she's like, that's it, you know, I'm gonna have to change this and put up boundaries where I need to put up boundaries, which I think is kind of what we spoke about earlier. You see the little crab here, which is Cancer, so some of you guys might be Cancer. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So Pentacles here, this could be Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, but Queen of Pentacles reverse can speak of maybe even a lack of stability, or even maybe something that you had expected financially or material wise, or something to gain maybe did not fully come to fruition. For some of you guys, it might even be a vehicle, again, coming to this vehicle thing, you know, or a trip that you had planned, how to get somewhere, the mode of transport maybe, and there was a delay in trying to get that off the ground. So Spirit is telling me that it's just delay, and everything kind of happens obviously for a reason, and maybe there was a reason to delay this trip. Okay, so I do see that there are, again, you know, cups here, there are cups here, you have the Queen of Cups, so there is a lot of emotional stuff going on in your life right now, but you're doing a very good job of trying to stay balanced, moving away from turbulent times, still in your healing and aware of healing. So Spirit just wants to say, you know, you're doing a really good job in staying focused, and you really know what needs to be done, even though you don't know what, you know, the future holds or where you're going. You're you know your next step of what it is you want to take, and you're kind of slowly rowing yourself in that direction. And Spirit is saying that's good for you. That's an amazing job that you're doing, that you're driving yourself towards what you feel is successful and what you feel needs to be done at this time, and that is right. So just to give you reassurance about that right now. Okay, so we do have some advice cards as well from Spirit. So we do have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And we do have differences. Okay, so with the change card, this ties in with the whole theme, right? Changing a certain aspect of yourself, you know, is difficult. Transforming yourself into maybe being a little different, because maybe you've identified an area where, again, you needed to set boundaries and transform into a different person to be able to say no, or to be able to get yourself out of a situation. So without movement here, I think is key. And Spirit wants to say, in order for you to make change, not only did you have to mentally prepare yourself and tell yourself, but there had to be movement, you know, away from turbulent waters, away from stormy situations, in order for things to actually change. So I think this is a reminder that even though you're maybe not seeing a lot of change, because for some of you guys, I'm picking up that you've been healing for a while. These changes already happened a while ago, and things are kind of feel stagnant. Spirit's saying that the change has happened, yes, but a lot of it's been internal. So the outside circumstances take a while to catch up to this change, as long as there's movement and you keep moving forward, rather than say, well, nothing's really changing and what's the point in working on myself, because it really does start from inside, and then having the strength and the healing to move forward or break away from restrictions or tough situations in which we're holding ourselves back, you know, mentally and in the 3D world as well, physically. So this differences, I think, is a reminder to a lot of us that sometimes it is scary to have a lot of differences, but at the same time, you know, noticing these differences in either opportunities or other people helps us to have clarity within ourselves, or at least have gratitude to appreciate some of the things we do have, and seeing ourselves as different from others, and not, you know, well, comparing for contrast, but not necessarily comparing to say, well, why am I not as far ahead, or as, you know, as this person, or have XYZ as that person, or like, but embracing the differences that you see in order to have the contrast, because you see the one here with the eyes open, one with the eyes closed, you know, and you're just getting two different vibes from these people. This is also giving me the same vibe. Like I said at the beginning, you have the two U's, the one that you're working on to set boundaries and be firmer and say no and be able to really drive your life and step into your power. And then the one that is your true authentic self, that allows love and compassion and the kind self to still be there, but accepting these differences within yourself and acknowledging that there are differences around you as well that help to add contrast in your life. Even though I do see there's lots going on, lots of butterflies, which again speak of the transformation that's happening within your life. But I do get this sense that there is a lot of chaos kind of surrounding you as well, but it is a beautiful chaos, you know, with all these flowers, you got animals, you got these butterflies, you just have a lot of noise. But I think for some of you guys, Spirit's telling me you guys kind of like the busy lifestyle, and it keeps you kind of active this way, and you kind of like surrounding yourself with this. But it might be a good opportunity to step away once in a while into nature, just to kind of hone your own peace of mind, and to really just tap into your true self every once in a while and not get lost in the chaos. So that's what I'm seeing for pile number 1 for messages from Spirit. If you were inclined to take a look at pile number 2 and 3, please do so. If not, and this is where you drop off, that's fine too. If you haven't subscribed to me already, please do so. I'd be forever grateful. And if you like this, please give it a like. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Love and light. See you soon. Hello, beautiful people of pile number 2. If you picked pile number 2, maybe you were drawn to this little white and black butterfly, so beautiful, or the Murder of Crows tarot deck, which we'll be using in a bit after we take a look at your energy. And for this reading, we will be taking a look at message from Spirit. Anything that Spirit wants to communicate to you will be conveyed. This is a timeless reading, so when you hear this message or find my video, you were meant to come across and listen to this message. So we will start off with the energies, and as I lay the cards out, I wanted to just thank my subscribers. I am so thankful and grateful to you guys. If you resonate with this reading, please give me a like, or if you haven't subscribed already, you can do so. I do private readings. If you are interested, my email is below. So just send me an email, and I have a few questions to identify the type of reading required for your situation, so that I can give you the cost of the reading. All right, so for the energies for this, before we get into the tarot, what I'm picking up here, we have disruption, balance, message in a bottle, mouse. You're overlooking some important details, so pay closer attention to what's going on. Camel, the ocean, and then her last day in the light. Unexpected endings, surprise changes, and sudden shifts. Okay, this energy, wow, is a lot different than pile number 1. So if you were drawn to both, that would be quite surprising, because this feels completely different. I feel a very light energy right now. In fact, I'm getting very almost lightheaded. So I don't know if you're in a tailspin or what's going on right now, but the light energy that I feel is a very sunshine type energy as well. Very bright, very light, and very airy, regardless of what's going on. But I do see that there is a lot of things going on, and some of it is not pretty. Okay, so with disruption, maybe you're used to kind of floating through and doing things in life in a certain way, but there's been something that has happened that has disrupted or that has changed courses, and that maybe, you know, has thrown things off balance and not in a good way. Okay, so things are a little bit flipped upside down. Things that normally would run smooth now aren't. I also am picking up for a lot of you guys that you're still in early stages of figuring out what that is, or what's going to fix it, or why this happened, but it's still very much what the heck happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see a tower card. This kind of feels like a tower moment for a lot of you guys. Message in bottle is kind of speaking about the surprises and changes. So I think you're going to get some communication from someone who might provide some clarity for a lot of you guys, maybe for this disruption. You know, maybe you're in a relationship or a connection that was going on one path, and then all of a sudden something happened or it threw things off balance. So I'm picking up for some of you guys, you will hear from this person. Or for a lot of you guys, if it's not a connection, maybe something has happened in your stable life that you need clarity on. So you'll get a communication from someone that's going to provide clarity as to what you need to do or why this has happened in order for you to fix or move forward and add more balance to that situation. Because you are overlooking something important. I think there's a lot of noise going on around you, and because it was very lightheaded, it was almost like I couldn't really think right off the hop. I had to kind of hone my energy. So it says pay closer attention to what's going on. So maybe because there is a lot going on, or maybe this disruption that's happening, that there's other things that you're not paying attention to that might be ignored or you don't see because you're very focused on the disruption and the imbalance or the thing that happened, that the other stuff going on around you is being, again, ignored. So Spirit is saying to pay attention to the detail, to maybe take a little bit of a suspended break from what's going on with the disruption and this instance or this situation that has happened, in order to take a look at everything else that's kind of going around to see what you might be overlooking that might also help and add insight that needs to be addressed, because these things have a tendency to compound. So one thing might turn into two things or three things, or a small thing might turn into a bigger thing if not addressed. Okay, I find with the camel, you know, camels are very loyal and very much, they are stubborn, but they're just keep going. You know, they get through adversity regardless of what life throws at them. So the message I'm getting from Spirit is that regardless of what life's throwing at you with this tower moment or this disruption imbalance, that you have the type of personality that is persistent, that's able to pull through almost unscathed, and that you will get through unscathed, or that it's not going to impact you as it would most people, whatever, you know, situation or circumstance that you're in. You're kind of just going through, doing your thing, being solid, being dependable, trying to get through this period. Now, because the ocean is, well, I mean, the ocean is like, you know, very deep, and there's lots of emotion, and the depth of the ocean, there's also a lot of unknown. I just feel like your emotions are running really deep. And I don't think that you're normally a very deep emotional type person I'm picking up, especially with the light energy I was getting. You're lighthearted, you're fairly happy, content. I was picking up more sunshine. With the ocean, I'm picking up more Scorpio, deeper, darker energy. So I think the situations kind of put you in a tailspin into maybe taking a look at your deep emotions, and maybe you're not really used to this sort of a reflection of your own emotion and how you're feeling. So you're kind of getting lost in the sea of your own emotion for the first time for some of you guys. And that because you don't know what you don't know, you might be listening to this, Spirit's telling me and saying, oh yeah, well, I am in tune with my emotions, but Spirit is saying, no, like for a lot of you guys, you haven't really reached the depths of how you can actually feel the deep emotion, like very, very deep. And for some of you guys, it's like hitting you guys like waves, and you don't know where it's coming from. So it could be that you're in maybe, again, a long-term situation in which something has happened, so now you have to be faced with these emotions that just kind of hit you with waves, or you're in a situation that has kind of left you feeling like you need to reflect on how you've been and how you are feeling and really take a deep look inside yourself. But you are handling it pretty much like an expert, because I do see this camel just kind of moving through. And maybe for some of you guys, I'm also picking up you're acting almost undisturbed, or like the emotion isn't bugging you. And for some of you guys, Spirit is cautioning that it wants you to fully feel your feelings, fully entrench yourself in emotion. I mean, if that even means, you know, you taking a half day to just totally bawl your eyes out or scream into your pillow or whatever you got to do, rather than just kind of keep pressing through and not, you know, fully feeling these feelings, like fully crying it out or fully going to the depths. Because I find it cool that this whole ocean I see, you know, in this background here, and the camel's not even paying no mind, kind of not even looking at this emotion here, and just kind of, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep doing my thing. But it's going to follow this camel around until the camel looks and addresses, you know, what's going on with these deep emotions. Okay, so her last day in the light, unexpected endings, surprise changes, and sudden shifts. So that speaks also of this disruption or this tower moment, right? But where there's endings, there's always beginnings. And what I'm sensing is that this ending or this shift, I don't feel it's over. I feel like the new that's coming in is still connected to somehow. So if you were in a connection, maybe this new thing, new way of being is with the same person, but it's just changed things. So the relationship or connection might have changed now for the better in a different way. But there is still an unexpected or a surprise thing that comes up. And I think it's for the positive, what I'm picking up. It could very well be from this message in a bottle, from hearing from someone or someone unexpected that you weren't planning on hearing from or wanting to hear from someone, and then you do. But there's some details that are missed, and I think that might even be connected to these sudden surprise changes that are happening that you're overlooking. Okay, so if this sounds like your energy, we'll get a look at the tarot. If this did not sound like your energy or what's going on right now, you might want to go check out pile number 1 or pile number 3 if you were drawn to those. But for pile number 2, we do have the Murder of Crows Tarot. And we're going to ask Spirit for pile number 2. Can you please give us message for pile number 2? Either something about their circumstance that you want to tell them or that they should be aware of, or just in general, a message. And we are so grateful, Spirit, for you sharing these messages with us. And pile number 2, I'm so grateful for you to allow me to tap into your energy and share your energy with me today. Thank you so much. Okay. So we've got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. We've got the World in reverse. We've got the 2 of Wands upright. We've got the 2 of Swords in reverse. And last card for that row, we have the Sun card. Under the 9 of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Swords reversed. Under the World, we've got the 5 of Swords. We've got the High Priestess in reverse. We've got Temperance in reverse. I was expecting to see a Tower, but we still have some. Here we've got the 10 of Swords in reverse. Okay. This is a lot darker than the light energy I was feeling when I first started your reading. So I think for a lot of you guys, I keep picking up Scorpio or deep emotions or maybe feelings that have been avoided or not addressed or looked at, with the camel looking away from the deep ocean feelings. So this is probably the deeper feelings that it might need to be addressed. The spirit really wants you to address these feelings before it bubbles up into something else. So with the Nine of Pentacles, normally speaks of, you know, prosperity, independence, doing it alone, being accomplished on your own and independent. But in being in reverse, you can either be dealing with a situation in which you feel you're dependent on something maybe outside of your control, and maybe in a way you don't want to be, you know, or for some of you guys, you're too independent and where it's difficult to ask for assistance, or too much, well, I don't want to use the word shame, but shame in asking for help, or not wanting to put someone out by admitting, you know, that you need some assistance right now. But I am picking up for a lot of you guys that you are independent successfully. It's just you're in a situation or a circumstance where you can't be independent because of outside circumstances that are going on. With the world upside down, the world can speak of closure and just a complete cycle ending, but the fact that it's upside down, it's like a lack of closure or something that hasn't really been fully closed off. So again, I was picking up at the beginning that there was a new circumstance that just kind of happened, like this tower moment, that maybe there was no closure and you're still waiting for something. That message in a bottle, maybe communication from someone. What had happened? What do you mean? You're kind of left like, what does this all mean? Why, you know, explain this to me. Getting closure from a relationship, or maybe getting closure from someone who's done something that you weren't really expecting, or, you know, just needing answers, essentially, more closure to close this chapter. The twos speak of choices, because we do have the Two of Wands, which can speak of distance, right? So it could be like, maybe you feel like you want to be independent, but there's like a distance between where you need to go or where you see yourself needing to go. But what I'm picking up is options. So there are two options that you're kind of maybe weighing on your mind, or that someone you might be involved with would have these two options, and they're kind of playing things out or waiting things out, and you're waiting to hear back. With the Two of Swords, it speaks of a decision needing to be made one way or another, you know, but the fact that it's reversed, I just feel there's delays in a decision, or someone is not making a decision, so it's holding you back because you're waiting to hear, you know, am I then to do this or that? So you're kind of like in limbo. You know, the Sun is a positive card because that does speak of clarity, contentment, and I think there will be clarity once that decision or choice is made, or that you're aware of which decision or which way to go. And for those of you guys who are making a choice between two things and you do make that decision, you're very clear on it. It does provide a lot of clarity for you, and it gives you the freedom to then be independent and free to see things more clearly. The Eight of Swords is always like this mental prison, or these stories we tell ourselves to hold ourselves back, or we feel bound or stuck by something. So maybe it could be that you're feeling, again, dependent on outside circumstances, but really Spirit's message is that these outside circumstances might just be a figment of your creation in your mind, and that you're not as stuck as you think you'll be. But the fact that it's reversed, it says you're getting out of this. You're free to go, you know, this prison or where you're held back, you're free to walk out of that. And for some of you guys, I'm getting the message that it's not out of your own real doing, it's more of because the situation changes, so now you're think you're free, and perceive yourself to be free because of the fact that something's changed, or something shifted. But really, until you address that, why you were being held back by yourself, or your thoughts or your words to yourself are holding you back, or maybe a way of believing or living your life, or something that you need to address within yourself, you will maybe find yourself in this situation at some other point. So really having, even though you may be freed from it shortly, or have recently been freed from a confined situation where you felt stuck, addressing why did you feel stuck and how much of it was really your own getting stuck in, self that you didn't acknowledge. Okay, the Five of Swords is kind of the sneaky card of challenge, deceit, and somebody, winning at all costs despite other things. So I do feel like whatever it was that had happened involves another individual that might have done something to slight you, and what Spirit is here saying is that coming out with the High Priestess in reverse, it's like this individual wasn't really listening to their intuition or their higher self. They were ignoring messages from their high self. They're kind of more acting than they are following or listening to their intuition. Or maybe you did something to somebody that now you regret because you weren't really acknowledging your higher self intuition, or what your what downloads you were getting from Spirit. So if that's the case, and now you're wanting to give someone closure or maybe have a conversation with someone, Spirit is saying that, you should, well, you can do whatever you'd like, but Spirit is saying maybe what they recommend you're doing is reaching out to the individual that you feel you might have slighted to have a discussion once you're clear on your intuition and you're not ignoring any of your maybe shadows. With the Temperance in reverse, this speaks of the imbalance, right? So the situation's really imbalanced. There is not an equal give and take within the connection, which has kind of caused it to maybe go in the direction that it has. The Ten of Swords is such a painful card, and that's when I saw this come out that I know that, you're most likely going through really a lot of pain here. And the fact that it's reversed could mean a lot of pain and very fresh. And it's like I just feel so heavy. This is really saddening me. It feels like I've been betrayed. And I think for a lot of you guys were the ones that were betrayed, or feel like now that you've betrayed or did something at all costs and maybe let someone down, you're feeling just really bad about something. Okay. And Spirit is here to say this person forgives you, or it doesn't even hold you at fault, because their higher self acknowledges the situation and the circumstance. So you might be holding yourself more at guilt, if that's even a thing. You're holding guilt to yourself more than this person actually is holding towards you. And that message in a bottle might be you having to take that step to message the person, especially if you were the one that wronged them. And I find just with some of you guys not listening to the intuition or looking at your deep emotions, because we were ignoring, remember the camel was ignoring the deep emotions and just keeps walking through hoping to get that message. And initially I said you might hear from whatever person. For those of you guys who Five of Sworded someone and just did something that was most likely said something that was very hurtful, you need to be the one to message them. This person's not going to message you, but they're not as angry as you probably are building up in your head, or maybe you're thinking they don't want to hear from you, so you're not even messaging. But Spirit's saying if you are the one that wronged them and you didn't listen to your intuition and ignored your feelings, you should probably be the bigger person. And this is why you're feeling in this Ten of Swords, and you'll feel this Ten of Swords for quite some time. Just message that person, even if it's just to say, hey, start the conversation. But I think the right thing to do would be just to give them the apology that you feel they deserve. Now, if you're not the one that wronged someone, you're most likely going to hear from the person who has wronged you, if they drop their ego. Okay? Which I could see with the Sun card. I think this person does get clarity of mind in order to actually make that decision to choose to say sorry or address or acknowledge the fact that they might have slighted you and that there was an imbalance in order to get the closure that both of you guys need. Okay, wow, that one went a little bit turning at the end there, but we do have some advice for you, and hopefully I didn't lose a whole bunch of people in the early light energy stage, because that tarot reading was quite heavy and different. We do have advice, and what Spirit would like to acknowledge here is trust. So I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Love that this card came out, because we did see that High Priestess in reverse, which meant somebody was ignoring their intuition or their downloads or their inner voice or their feelings or their whatever, that Spirit's saying just trust that your inner voice is guiding you in the right direction. You know, listen to your feelings, listen to your emotions, listen to what you know inside is right, and try to identify maybe what is ego and what is, you know, the right thing to do. And that's where healing can happen. And you, like we talked about, you know, reaching out to your person to apologize, blah, blah, blah. If you're not at that healing stage, I wouldn't suggest you do it now. Maybe heal yourself, forgive yourself before you apologize to that person, because you don't want to apologize just to get them to forgive you, but apologize to free yourself, you know. But once you can heal yourself somewhat to be able to have that step, it'll be a lot easier to have that conversation, and then full healing will happen. But I don't feel like you'll fully be able to heal unless you have that conversation. But maybe wait until, you know, you're healed some more, Spirit's saying, because you don't want things to turn again and have, you know, another tower moment. So we have perspective. This one's great as well. Again, butterflies. I find it so interesting because we had butterflies in the last card, which speaks about transformation. And I picked these butterflies for the picket cards because I just felt like the collective was, you know, going through transformation in our lives. Perspective is really, I think, speaking about that situation or circumstance that maybe where you slighted someone or someone slighted you, and having perspective on why people were acting the way they were acting in the situation, and gaining a different perspective than the one that maybe you're telling yourself or hanging on to, because that's that Eight of Swords in reverse, where it's like, you know, even though you're breaking free from this mental prison, it's like, why? Like, what's your perspective on the situation? Try to see it from the other person's, you know, point of view. I also see here, you know, this girl staring at the butterflies. So I feel like you have some admirer. This is someone around you that's watching how you're handling things, how you're transforming, and they're really in awe of you and how you're handling things. And maybe that's the unknown or detail around you you're maybe not really paying attention to. If you have a child that's kind of watching your actions, or if you have, you know, a close friend or people that hang out with you, they probably are witnessing you kind of changing, and they are watching you. And Spirit's just saying that, you know, be present and be aware that maybe someone is watching you and kind of following in your footsteps or using you kind of as a guide. So just, you know, be mindful of how you put out energy. I love that there's little peacocks here. Peacocks are my favorite, and I'd reach up there to get my peacock to show you. But peacocks just do speak of ego, but also, you know, what I see in the peacock is just beauty. Once the peacock is, you know, in its proud state. So it's like there's so much beauty to be had with you when you're in a proud state of yourself. But right now you're kind of shut down because of either the guilt or because you're confused with this tower moment and you're left hanging and you're just kind of waiting for a decision or communication. And Spirit is just, you know, saying to have perspective, to allow yourself to move forward. If you feel you haven't really done anything wrong, then try to just move forward and have perspective with where that person was coming from in order for you to heal, and not necessarily have to forgive, but to heal and move forward from that. Okay, so this is what I am seeing for pile number 2. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I am so thankful. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you were drawn to pile number 1 or pile number 3, feel free to join us there. If not, and you're dropping off right now, then thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys again. Thank you. Love and light. See you again. Hello, gorgeous people of pile number 3. If you were drawn to this blue butterfly, or maybe to this deck right here, then this is your reading. And for those of you guys who skipped the intro, we will be taking a look at messages from Spirit and what Spirit wants to convey to you about your situation, or just a general message from Spirit. We will pick that all up. Now, the tarot that you guys picked is the Guardian of the Night Tarot, which we'll read once we pick up the energies. Now, if these energies don't sound like you might want to skip to pile number 1 or 2. And I wanted to take this time to thank my subscribers. Thank you so much. I do private readings. If you're interested, send me an email. My email is below. I will have a few questions for you just to see what type of reading that I'm doing before I give you my rate, but it really depends on the type of reading that you want and how you answer those questions, so that I make sure that I give you the right solution for what it is that you need. All right, thank you so much, and we will get in with your energies here. So we have illumination, gratitude, flexible, the kiwi. Do a walking meditation each day for the next week. We have snake, we have the comic, and we have creator, catalyst, maker, mother, father, which is number 9. Okay, so just give me a minute to pick up these energies. Okay, I'm picking up from this pile that you guys are in a pretty decent state of mind. You guys are kind of able to say that you've been fairly healed or been working on your healing, that you're kind of in a state right now that you can kind of pay attention to other things that are going on within your life that maybe you haven't been able to do so in the past. And I'm also picking up that you're trying to maybe step out of a certain way that you are in doing things in a certain way or a certain routine, but trying to lighten your days or how you go about things a little bit different, because you're kind of feeling like you might have been getting bored with the same old. Now we do have, 19 and 1 plus 9. You got 10. 10 speaks of an ending, the end of a cycle. Okay, so I feel like you've probably been end of a cycle for a while, and now you're kind of in a state where maybe you're just holding yourself kind of tight guarded within how you do things and go about things, but you're learning to just step outside of that and have a little bit of more creativity or fun within your life, or see things a little differently, or do things that you don't normally do. We do have 8 here. Well, this would be 26, which would reduce to 8. And I do feel like with 8s, it could very well be putting in an effort. So you might just be putting in more effort than you would normally put in, and being more aware of maybe your attitude. I do see here with gratitude, that's like the best attitude that one can have, and being grateful for everything in your life. I feel that you really are. This illumination is saying you're actually seeing all the positive things in your life and everything to be kind of grateful for. And for those of you guys who this part isn't so resonating. It's saying with the Kiwi, doing a walking meditation each day for the next week is going to help you to shine a light on things that you are grateful for, you know, to help with this change or breaking out of this little rut or this little safe place that you tend to be or guard yourself at, which is safe. But I feel like for a lot of you guys want out of there, or you want a change, and you're really working on your flexibility to be able to step outside of that. And with the comic, I do really almost even pick up with this, like, actually, you know, doing things you wouldn't normally do that makes you laugh, maybe hanging out with different people who are a little more silly, going to see, you know, a stand-up comedy show or something that's lightening the mood or changing things in a different way. The creator is really speaking about how one is kind of the creator of their own lives, right? Like, we had butterflies here for the pick a cards, and butterflies really speak of transformation. So having, you know, the creator here, it's like you're transforming yourself consciously into someone you really want to be. You know, she's kind of looking here, and it's this light, humorous person who's not so guarded and maybe doing things a little differently to change their life, right? So spirit is saying doing this walking meditation each day will help you to shine a light on what you're grateful for and illuminate maybe areas of your life that are going to help to kind of drive that change that you're telling yourself that you want or that you need. I am also picking up for a lot of you guys, or is this stalemate or this tight way of being? I just keep coming back to this way of repetitively kind of living your life that you're kind of just bored of, and you want to have change in your life, or at least see things a little differently, and you are aware that you're the only one that can kind of create this change, and you're kind of just trying to find the best way to do it. So spirit is saying with that walking meditation, you know, maybe in nature or just at least meditation, but the walking will also get you kind of the energy flowing, you know, or thinking of things that you're grateful for, maybe having a gratitude journal. And if you've had one in the past, it's reminding you maybe to go through it just to really take a look at that. The girl here has this little deer who's kind of trapped in this little bottle. I get this feeling again. It's like the deer who's this innocent, you know, fawn who's kind of in here being trapped within, you know, a confined space or circumstance. Kind of feel that with this snake, you know, a situation or circumstance that's kind of trapping your fun side or your ability to be free, to have fun, to be carefree. And maybe by force you were, you know, forced in a situation where you couldn't, and now you're just wanting that flexibility in order to free yourself from some responsibilities, or maybe a way of being, a lifestyle that has held you back, you know. So that's what I'm picking up for the energies. If this sounds like your energies now, I did say this for pile number 2, and the light energies was very different than what we picked up for the tarot, but it was connected. So if this resonated, I mean, the tarot is most likely going to resonate, but if it didn't, you might want to just listen to a little bit of the tarot here to see if this is your pile, because we're going to ask spirit to give you a message or messages that are going to resonate with your situation or circumstance. Spirit, we are so grateful for you to share a message with pile number 3. And pile number 3, I'm so grateful that you allow me to read your energy today and tap into that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So we will pull some tarot to see what spirit has to say. So we have the 10 of Wands in reverse, the 9 of Swords upright, the 5 of Wands in reverse, the 2 of Swords upright. One more card, Spirit. I'm just going to shuffle that over, get this all in frame. And And we have the Hierophant in reverse. One more roll. We have the Nine of Cups in reverse. And we see that beautiful peacock that we saw in pile number 2. Four of Pentacles upright. 10 of Swords. 7 of Swords in reverse. And then the 6 of Pentacles in reverse as well. Okay. So yeah, this energy is a little bit different than the light energies I was picking up at the beginning here. But we will get into this reading. So there is a lot of pain going on right now with this 10 of Swords. I mean, the 10 of Swords speaks of feeling stabbed in the back, having a very tough situation. And the fact that the 9 of Swords is here is the sleepless nights, the anxiety, which usually doesn't manifest in real world. Like, the anxiety is worse than what the manifestations of this anxiety and fear is with the sleepless nights. But the fact that I see the 10 of Swords, I feel like the anxiety is coming because of what has happened in this situation. With the 10 of Wands, the 10 of Wands speaks of overloaded burden, a heavy load to carry, you know, doing a lot and feeling overstressed, overtaxed. But the fact that it's in reverse, it can speak of you know, the hard part of carrying this heavy load is over, or now you have help or support in some way that you didn't before, or that you were able to ask for help, or that you're on the verge of wanting to ask for help because of your anxiety and your sleepless nights of saying, of, you know, just waving the flag that you do need help, because there is a challenge that is stressing you out. With the 2 of Swords, you know, the 2 of Swords speaks of a choice that needs to be made, or a decision, you know, that's going to be made or has to be made. And it's not that one is stuck, but just that one recognizes a decision needs to be made. Okay. With the Hierophant here, Hierophant would speak of, you know, teachings, but can speak of marriage and cultures, you know, learnings. But the fact that it's reversed, I'm really sensing, for those of you guys maybe that are dealing with religious issues, it could be a religious issue type situation that's unconventional here. But because it's reversed, I'm just getting that it doesn't necessarily need to be a religion. It could be a way of life, a lifestyle, or a social way of being, or a way that you are, or something that is to the extreme. Okay, and it's causing this challenge within your life that needs to be, well, it doesn't need to be, but that you are looking at maybe from your own perspective. And for some of you guys, you're addressing that maybe a decision needs to be made here. Some of you guys haven't even acknowledged that maybe it's an extreme because you're so wrapped up in it, but it's an unorthodox way of being, or too extreme to a T to follow a certain social construct or something that's in place that, you know, you're following, but almost to your own detriment. The 9 of Cups is the, you know, the card that speaks of gratitude, but almost like overfilling yourself with gratitude, things that you like. And the fact that it's upside down, it's almost like to the extreme again of overdoing. You know, if you drink, let's say for example, it's like you're drinking too much. If you like to go out at night to celebrate or to have a party, it's like too much of that. If you like hanging out, you know, whatever, in a place that might be unhealthy, then it's like too much of that. It's like going over extremes. If you enjoy sex, it's like too much of that. And that is causing a lot of anxiety or pain, or the cause of pain and anxiety. But when you see the Four of Pentacles, it's like someone who's really hanging on to either a situation or circumstance or a way of being or something, because their mindset, it might be on lack. You know, if I let go, then I won't have XYZ. But at the same time, it's the cause of the anxiety because it's really guarded, you know. And I just feel like this is a way of being that needs to be kind of addressed by you, because it is causing, it's taking a toll now with the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords. Even the Seven of Swords can speak of stealthily having to overcome something. So maybe there is some sort of an addiction here. But the fact that it's reverse is like, almost feel like something wasn't on the up and up, or you got busted, or someone you know, maybe you're dealing with someone with an addiction, so I don't want to accuse you of anything, but this is just what I'm picking up. Someone you know, and you're being dragged into their drama because they're extreme, and, you know, busted them in something that was maybe deceitful or not in the up and up, or they're being stealth-like or sneaky with, that you were able to catch them, or somebody caught you being sneaky or doing something you shouldn't have done. But the mindset here of this hanging on too tightly to a way of being, or to, you know, maybe even a habit that needs to be addressed and broken. You know, Six of Pentacles speaks of having that investment, that give and take, or putting in an investment into something that you can reap later. But the fact that it's blocked, it's like, you know, it's like almost like a selfish attitude that someone's having here. Again, with this extreme, it's like, I'm going to drink, it's my party, I cry if I want to, I'll do what I want. And then someone else might be paying the price for it. So you might be the one paying the price, or you don't recognize someone around you is paying the price, you know, of your way of life. You know, like I said, the Hierophant, we did talk about religion, which, if you can take this into context with that, maybe you're taking something to an extreme that isn't really serving a value right now, or a purpose outside of maybe something that you've told yourself, or that your, you know, generations upon generations of your families told themselves, and it's a generational break of a way of mind or belief, or just the way you've lived your life for a while now, that you're not even recognizing, or you are, because there's this decision that needs to be made, but it's the cause of this grief, it's the cause of this heartbreak, you know, because when you do have the Ten of Swords, you're really broken everywhere. You feel stabbed in the back, you're, you know, you feel let down. It's a very painful, painful card, you know, and we weren't seeing that any energies there. So if you are dealing with someone with an addiction, my heart goes out to you. If you are someone with an addiction, you know, I have Spirit telling me that you have the power to overcome this. You know, you are definitely at a spot where you're recognizing this decision, and this is the best thing that you can do for yourself, to even recognize that there is a decision to be made and to keep at it, because Spirit's saying you can overcome this, you know, whatever this may be, but it's not good for you. And it doesn't have to be sex or drug or gambling. For some it may be. It could really be just a abusing type behavior, where you're putting yourself behind everyone else. You're not stepping into your power. You know, Peacock speaks of ego, and really this prideful, powerful type thing as well, you know. But in reverse, it's like, it could just very well be that you're shameful, or this person around you is shameful for this, but there's no real shame to be had here. It's an overloaded feeling, asking for help. Now this makes sense to me. You know, maybe you're acknowledging you need to ask for help, or want to ask for help, because you feel overloaded by this pain of being stuck here. And I hope you don't feel alone. And if you do, I don't know you, maybe from a hole in the wall. And if I do, my answer would be the same. you know, if you want to send me a message, if you need someone to speak with, I am totally not here to judge and will give my honest guidance. You know, if you just need someone to listen to you, I am here for that as well. But yeah, my heart goes out to, you know, the pain that I see here. We will pick up from spirit some guidance and some advice. But if this is, you know, an addiction or something, you know, maybe YouTube pick a card's not the best place. You might want to Google, you know, some numbers where you can get some help. Or like I said, if you don't want to do that, you can certainly send me an email and I'll see what I can do to help. Just listen to what it is in your circumstance and situation. Okay, so we will take a look at the messages from Spirit. When I was picking pile number 3, cards were just jumping out, where the other 2 I had to pull them out, but they were really falling out for pile number 3. And you did get 2 gratitude advice cards here, which is quite amazing, and these cards are really beautiful. But okay, so for your first card, you got success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Beautiful, because love conquers everything. I believe in Spirit also is telling me that to focus on the love in your life will help get through anything. So if you love the person that maybe you're helping with an addiction, or that is in this tough place right now, and that you love them and show them unconditional love and support, it will help them. But also Spirit is saying not to the detriment of where you're enabling or letting yourself get down, because there is a part to love you enough to maybe let that person go if they're toxic or not helping you heal. And if you are the person who is struggling in an addiction, just to focus on the love for yourself in order to get through this, because Spirit's saying you can get through this with love for yourself. And I think that love is there. I can really feel it, you know. And maybe you don't even recognize, for some of you guys, how deep maybe that you're into this trouble, because maybe it's been like this for a while. So Spirit's saying don't shrug anything off or brush anything off as just surface, right? Take a really hard look at yourself and maybe stop it now while you're able to help heal yourself, rather than getting further along behind and saying, well, I don't really have that big of an issue. I just, you know, get completely drunk every other day or something like that. I'm just using that as an example because I'm exaggerating this thing, but you can extrapolate that into your situation. Open-minded. Okay, so for that upside down Hierophant, I felt like there was a stubborn attitude about, this is how I've been, this is how I live my life, this is what's socially acceptable or allowed in my mind. Whereas the Spirit saying be open-minded, you know, to differences of values and differences. I mean, you don't have to obviously do something that you're contradicting your own value or betraying your own belief, but just question your belief, you know, not to the point where you don't know what's real, but question what it is you're telling yourself. And again, these butterflies here, which I knew for these 3 piles we were going to see some butterflies coming up, because butterflies speak of transformation. And I just feel like you guys are transforming into someone else, you know, and that for a lot of you guys are being open-minded. It's just the answers might not be coming. So Spirit is saying that if you are open-minded, the answers will come, and just being open instead of focusing that they're not coming, just focusing on doing the open-minded work. The answers will come, the downloads will come, the information will come as needed. And I am noticing this little innocent child's kind of staring at this little chickadee here, which is also really innocent. So I do feel like, you know, surrounding yourself maybe with people who are genuine, who are innocent, meaning they're innocent in this situation. Maybe they have no skin in the game. They haven't been involved with maybe drama within that life, or maybe a safe place of someone who you find is your safe person that makes you feel safe, that's innocent, that's sweet. Lean on them maybe more. Maybe they're the person that you want to mention, that, you know, that 10 of Wands, that overburden, that you need help. Talk to that person, because they're there to help listen to you and just be there to help your healing. Again, you're the only one that can heal yourself, so no one else is going to be able to heal. Oh, little cherry blossoms. Very interesting. Okay, so you're going to want to know that you're the only one that can heal yourself. But having that safe person around will help you, you know. That totally threw me off. Okay, so we have the second card that came out here, and it says evolve. So powerful. It's almost like you know that you're able to evolve into this, you know, this is giving off that magician vibe, where the magician is manifesting what it is the magician is able to think of and bring about and be about is what happens. So you are the magician, where you're manifesting what you want, how you want to be, how you want to live your life, what you want to change, you know, is very powerful. So behind all of this, I do pick up you're a very powerful individual. But if you are dealing with someone that needs the help that you can't manifest, I mean, I can say can't, you can do whatever you'd like to do, but Spirit's telling me you can't really be manifesting something for someone else because of free will. So you can only really manifest for yourself. So no matter how much love you show someone or support or help, they can't change themselves unless they want to change themselves. So Spirit is saying just, you know, manifest in your life the positivity and the love that you want to see with the power you have to surround yourself with that energy, so that surrounds you, and that will help this other person who maybe is watching you or is mirroring you or is able to follow in your footsteps, instead of enabling or trying to push them into healing or helping. Maybe by helping and healing yourself and manifesting love in your life will guide them to do the same within their life if you're not the person who needs this healing. So it's kind of like a double message here for the ones that are healing, and then the ones that, I mean, everyone's healing, but the ones that are maybe in this addictive state, that need, you know, that assistance, and then the ones that are needing help from being drained from being in a situation where they're helping others heal, you know, because you need healing as well. I mean, who doesn't need healing? All right, so I love you guys so much. I am so very grateful that I was able to peek into your energy. This last reading was very heavy, but I am very grateful that you stopped here to my channel. And if this message didn't resonate, then just drop the messages that don't. Maybe check out pile number 1 and 2. If it did resonate, maybe leave a like. Feel free to leave a comment, like I said, or send me a message. But I do appreciate you stopping in. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I love you. Love and light. Take care. And we will see you next time. Thank you.